Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Alontae Taylor, the CB out of the University of Tennessee in our NFL Draft Prospect Special, is our expert, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? Talking some more draft prospects. The usual football is over, unfortunately, but you know what that means for us. It's draft prospect time. Late April is when the draft is. I think April 29th, 30th, one of those days. So we got about 2 more months left of heavy draft coverage, and I can't wait to keep it going here with Alontae Taylor.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching at home, tell us, who is your favorite draft prospect? Which players from college are you really expecting to break out in this next season and will make their way towards the NFL? Like Mr. Landers said, we've got about 2 months before the big decisive moves from a lot of these players. So we're going to be giving you extra information about all these amazing NFL draft prospects, getting you ready, getting you all the information you need. And we're going to keep broadcasting live on multiple days at multiple times to bring you even more coverage here on Twitch, on YouTube. You can check us out on every platform that you love, including over on all of our podcast platforms. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, just look up 100 Yards of Football and join us over there. We're having a lot of fun. So, Mr. Logan Landers, Alontae Taylor, out of the University of Tennessee, go Vols. What do we have to look forward to from this young man?
Well, this guy is Tennessee through and through, Jeremiah. His hometown is Manchester, Tennessee. He's a senior at Tennessee for the Vols. And so he's been there for a long time. He's always been a Vol for his career, been through Tennessee's high school, and now he is ready to go to the NFL. If he wants to keep the streak alive, right? Maybe the title.
Well, we may have lost you for a second there, Mr. Logan Landers. Are you back with us?
Here we are. Are you able to see me? We're looking good here. Looking good. Always got some technical difficulties, but it don't matter, right? Because we're working through it. They come and go. Speaking of coming and going, right? Alontae Taylor coming and going out of Tennessee, going to the draft, looking good. He's got good speed, good size, great skill set, very experienced, a solid player. Got invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl a couple of weeks ago and did great there. Got an interception, so making his draft stock go even higher and higher. And throughout his career, right, looking at his career at Tennessee as a freshman, he played in 12 games, had 28 tackles solo and 40 in total, so already off to a hot start. His sophomore season, he had 33 tackles. His junior season, he had 29. And this past season, he ramped up the tackles once again with a career-high 60 tackles. Also, his freshman year, he had 2 passes defended. Sophomore year, he had 3. Junior year, he had 4. And then this year, he had 6 passes defended. So he's been looking pretty solid in terms of just interceptions, passes defended, just kind of being all over the place when it comes to being a solid defensive back cornerback, especially in the SEC, right? He gets some of the top quarterbacks, some of the best wide receivers in the nation, and he's done swimmingly. Looking more at him, right? He's a leader on the field. Everyone loves him. He's a lockdown corner. He's played in over 45 games. And the crazy part is, Jeremiah, he came into Tennessee as a wide receiver, but in the fall of 2018, decided to move him over to corner. And man, I think that was probably the best move for his career. Everyone is a big fan of him. He racks up a ton of tackles. And, like I said, he was able to get invited to the Senior Bowl a couple of weeks ago. And against pretty much college all-stars, he got a pick off of him. So, like I said, that's going to boost his stats, going to boost his draft stock. And some more things I like about him, right? He's got good agility and good balance. He's competitive. He's able to read the quarterback and getting good breaks in the ball. He's not going to be late too often. Like I mentioned, he gets a ton of tackles. He's a big hitter, too. He's not afraid to lay the wood, as our guy Vince Turner says. He's also good in the red zone, too. When it matters the most, when the ball is closest to get into the goal line, he is able to really help out, get rid of some of those back shoulder fades, and can really make the quarterback pay for any kind of late throws or any bad throws he has, which you always love to see. Also, he's quick, like I said. He's agile. That's probably one of his best traits. He's fast to the ball, which is a necessity at the next level because, they're only going to get stronger and faster in the NFL. I think Alontae Taylor is going to do great there. And he's good in the zone system, so that's probably where he's going to be at whenever he gets drafted, to take that into account. And just his cover skills are very good. He knows where the ball's coming. He's not going to get beat very often, and he's just overall a solid cornerback coming into this upcoming draft. Now, some things he can work on, right? He can always get a little bit stronger. That's always something going on there. I mean, standing at, what is he here? He's 6 foot 195. He can always add a little bit more muscle. Nothing wrong with that. And also, I mean, like I said, get a little bit stronger. And the thing that is, he can sometimes play a little bit too stiff, right? I mentioned he can hit with the best of them. Sometimes he can be a little bit too rigid as opposed to playing a little bit more loose. But other than that, I mean, this is probably one of the most solid prospects that I've seen that we've covered here as cornerbacks. And I think, too, playing in an SEC school is definitely going to help him out in terms of his draft stock. And I think whoever goes with Alontae Taylor is going to draft a very solid cornerback. I think he's going to be in the league for a long time. And it would not surprise me one bit, Jeremiah, if in a couple of seasons, right, maybe in 2 or 3 years, as long as he's getting on the field, he's playing a lot, that we hear his name in the Pro Bowl or maybe in a deep playoff push. We'll see what happens, but I'm a big fan of Alontae Taylor, one of the better cornerbacks I've looked at and seen over the last couple of months here, and I'm excited to see where this young man's going to head up and land in April.
Sorry, I keep having to find my own mute button sometimes. Yeah, I definitely think so. And, him being a senior, and like you said, he has been through the program. He's been working for years in this program. He understands how to be a part of a system, how to understand what coaches want from him. And he is a senior coming in. Like, I have nothing but fond memories of what this guy's done for Tennessee in the last few years. And I really do feel like he could break out and really do it great in the NFL draft. So we want to see him do that. Everybody from Tennessee, of course, I want to see you keep moving on to the NFL draft, because that is definitely my hometown and where I grew up. And, when I saw the Sea of Orange, Saturday after Saturday, and going into Neyland Stadium with 100,000 plus strong and going to the best tailgates in America, I've just had some great times at the University of Tennessee. And this is a great player who has, really started off his career well. He's not had any major, any major problems throughout his career. He's been doing it big, and I really want to see where he goes. Well, everybody watching, tell us, what do you think? What do you think that Alontae Taylor will go to? Which team? Which NFL team do you really think that will pull him in? I would love to see him come in. So tell us in the comments, what do you think? Which team do you think will draft Alontae Taylor, and what makes you excited about this player, other players from Tennessee, or other players that you'd love to see in our draft prospect specials? We want to hear from you. And if you're watching us live, thank you. But if you're listening to our podcast, thank you again. We love our podcast listeners. If you go over to our podcast, anywhere that you listen, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Overcast, or anywhere that you love to listen to podcasts, and just look up 100 yards of football and pull up our 50-yard line picture there. We're sponsored by the Believe Podcast Network, which helps us bring our podcast to you every single week. So please tell us what you love about it. Like I said, you can go over on Spotify. You can look at our Apple Podcast. You can leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. It doesn't even have to be a long one. You can just be like, hey, I'm listening to the show, guys. And we would love that. So you have been watching our draft prospect special for Alontae Taylor out of the University of Tennessee. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and our host, Logan Landers, brings you these amazing draft prospect specials every single week. We will be right back